Alright, everybody, good afternoon. Today is Sunday, April 27th, 2025 at 14:08. And today we have our day 2 outlook to look at. Now, tomorrow is honestly a very dangerous day, as you can see here. Everything loaded, yes, video. We have a very, very dangerous day here. So this website will probably reset itself once or twice. But anyway, let's get into the risks here. Tomorrow, we've got a moderate risk for parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. We have an enhanced risk for parts of a little bit of Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, going through Iowa, over into Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, as well as a little bit of South Dakota. Slight risk extends from Texas through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, going over into Illinois, into Michigan, up through upper Wisconsin, going into Minnesota, going into just a little bit North Dakota, but South Dakota and Nebraska also have that slight risk. And then the marginal, we've got parts of Texas going into through Oklahoma, through a little bit of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, then going over here into Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, going into Kansas, back into Oklahoma and Texas. So we do have a very busy and dangerous day tomorrow. We have Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Bloomington, and Plymouth under a moderate. Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Madison, Des Moines, and Rockford under enhanced. Chicago, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita under slight. And St. Louis, Lubbock, Grand Rapids, Springfield, and Illinois, and Springfield, Missouri, and Springfield, Illinois under a marginal risk. So, anyway, that's what we've got for tomorrow. Let's deep dive and see what risks we've got for tomorrow. 15% hatched. We do have a 15% hatched tornado threat tomorrow for parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. 10% hatched. We have parts of Iowa going into a little bit of Illinois and Wisconsin, and going back into Minnesota. 5% we have going from Oklahoma through Kansas, Missouri, a little bit of Nebraska with it too, going into Iowa, a little bit of Illinois, then going into Wisconsin, Minnesota, and just a little bit of South Dakota has that as well for the 5%. And then 2% we have going from Texas through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, over into Michigan, Wisconsin, or not, barely Wisconsin, Minnesota, a little bit of North Dakota, South Dakota, a little bit of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, having the 2%. So we do have a very significant tornado threat tomorrow, as you can see. So we have Minneapolis, St. Paul, Madison, Des Moines, and Rockford under the significant severe. Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Bloomington, and Plymouth under the 15% hatched. Madison, Des Moines, Rockford, Cedar Rapids, and Green Bay under the 10% hatched. Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, and Wichita under 5%. And Chicago, Tulsa, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, and Joliet under a 2%. So for the 15% hatched, you could see a good EF3, maybe even EF4 tornado possible. Please be mindful that it could be a possibility for tomorrow. 10% hatched, you could see an EF2 to EF3 tornadoes possible. 5% you could see an EF1 to EF2 tornado possible. And 2% you could see EF0 to EF1 tornado possible. So please, no matter where you are, but especially in the higher risks, please be on the lookout tomorrow, because we are forecasting some strong, long-track tornadoes potentially for tomorrow. Going on to the damaging wind threat for tomorrow, we have a 30% for parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. We have a 15% that extends from Texas through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, up into Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, a little bit of Minnesota, a little bit of Nebraska, and South Dakota. And we have a 5% that extends from Texas through Oklahoma, a little bit of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, going through Michigan, up into Minnesota, over into just a teeny tiny bit of North Dakota, if you can see that. South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and then, that was a reset. And then back through Kansas, Oklahoma, and then Texas. So, yes, we do have a lot of significant severe weather going on tomorrow. We have Minneapolis, St. Paul, Green Bay, Rochester, and Bloomington under the 30%. Chicago, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Missouri, and Tulsa under the 15%. And Omaha, Wichita, St. Louis, Lincoln, and Lubbock under the 5%. So for the 45%, you could see a pretty good damaging wind threat of 60 to 80, even 90 miles per hour wind gusts possible. 15%, you could see 60 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts possible. And 5%, you could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So please be mindful wherever you may be, you have a wind threat for tomorrow. Now going into the hail threat for tomorrow, we do have a 30% chance hatch that goes from a little bit of Kansas through a little bit of Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Just a little bit of South Dakota having that 30% hatched. It looks like just a teeny tiny little bit of Wisconsin there just has a normal 30%. We do have a 15% hatched for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, going into Nebraska, and a little bit of South Dakota. Normal 15% goes from Nebraska into South Dakota, up into Minnesota. Just a teeny tiny bit of North Dakota, if you can see that. And going over into Michigan, a little bit of Wisconsin, Illinois, and then Missouri, back into Kansas and Oklahoma, having the normal 15%. 5% we have from going from Texas through Oklahoma, through just a little bit of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, through Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and back in Texas. So we do have a very busy day for tomorrow. So we do have Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Minneapolis, and Wichita under the significant severe. Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Madison have the 30% hatched. Chicago, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita under the 15%. And St. Louis, Lubbock, Grand Rapids, Springfield, Missouri, and Springfield, Illinois under the 5%. So for the 30% hail threat, you could see a good, maybe even 4 inches of hail, maybe even 5. So there could be some huge hailstones coming out of these storms. 15% hatched, you could see 1 to 3.5 inch hail. Normal 15%, you could see 1 to 3 inch hail. And then 2% you could see, 5% you could see 1 to 2 inch hail for tomorrow. So please be mindful wherever you may be. There could be some really huge hailstones tomorrow as well. So here is the summary for tomorrow. It says multiple corridors of severe thunderstorms are expected across the upper Midwest on Monday into Monday night, with a regional severe weather outbreak possible. The most dangerous is most likely during the late afternoon and evening, when strong tornado potential should be maximized. Scattered large to very large hail and damaging winds are likely as well. So there you have it. Please stay safe tomorrow. There's tomorrow's hail risk. There's tomorrow's wind risk. There's tomorrow's tornado risk. And there's tomorrow's day 2 outlook. So I do really hope that you stay weather aware and stay safe. Please pay attention to any severe weather alerts, whether that be from your NOAA weather radio, from your phone, from your television outlets, from radio sources, whatever, however you get your alerts. Please make sure you have a way. Even after you go to bed tomorrow night, there could still be some severe storms. Make sure you have a way of getting woken up. Highly recommend go to your safe place, and I would just sleep in there for the night. so that you don't even have to move if you get under a warning. Anyway, we will be going over this day 1 outlook again tomorrow. There could be a possible chance it could be upgraded to a high risk, depending on what any of these risks. If they upgrade to a 45% of something, there is a good chance that it could become a high risk. I hope not, but we will be going over this outlook again. There's the reset again. When we come back tomorrow to review this outlook one more time tomorrow. In the meantime, take today to prepare, know how to get to your severe weather safe spot, know your severe weather plans. Take care, everybody, and I will talk to you tomorrow to go over the outlook again. Take care.